I wanted to give Reverend Earl a chance to make a statement.
Well, I certainly appreciate the opportunity to just be in this crowd. It was very hard for me to believe when Bob asked me to come that he was serious about someone at the level that I work actually coming and engaging in this. And I also had an opportunity to share with Representative Espy. On my way here, I stopped to see a relative of yours in the hospital that sends their regards. But I just want to say about 3 or 4 things and say it as briefly as I can and then step back out of this. But the first thing is that most of what's being talked about here and probably the way that it's being talked about, the majority of the people that I deal with on a day-to-day basis are dealing with some other issues that are more fundamental, you know, and these things kind of fade when you're talking about people breaking in your house, and when you're talking about just being able to walk to the store, and when you're talking about not being able to adequately count your money, and that there are people that don't even speak your language that you have to do business with, that those are some of the very kind of basic issues. And I think that when we talk about debate, when we talk about bringing many, talk about the diversity of the community, I think that we have to become more appreciative at best and tolerant at least to the diversity of understanding that exists among our people, and that they need to be heard, and they desperately need to be in these forums. And they might not be able to say it in the language that so many of the folk here at this table can say it, but they want to be heard. They can speak for themselves. And we have to let that happen. It also seems to me that when we talk about paradigms, it seems to me that reality precedes paradigm, and that reality just is what it is. And that's what we talk about. We just talk about what it is, and I think that we first of all have to abandon our paradigm to just examine what is the reality out there and not be afraid of that reality, because that reality might not say kind things about me, you know, as an educated black. It might not say kind things about me as a well-employed black, but we have to get over our own fears and our own insecurities and just let the people say what it is that they have to say. And part of being appreciative of the diversity is that will give us an opportunity to really find out what reality is. People have to, in order to get reality, everybody's got to be able to say what it is that they see and that kind of thing, because there are more dimensions to reality than just one side. And so I really applaud this, and I'm grateful for that. Our paradigm, it seems to me, is the values and the priorities that we bring to the reality. And so many times, that's all folk are talking about. They're talking about what's important to them. They're talking about what, you know, the statements they make reflect their own values rather than reflecting what people are really experiencing out there. And then and then the third thing about that paradigm is that strategies are ways of getting people from one place to another place. And so in the final analysis, then, what we need to hear at the grassroots level is we need to finally stop talking about who's right, who's wrong, this approach and that approach, and to give us some type of strategy that says you do this, and then you do that, and then you do the next thing, and that's how you get out of this terrible mess.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Didn't expect to go that long.
That's all right.
90% of the groups that we have inventoried identified some kind of spiritual conversion as the tool that has made a difference in their life. They said only when you change someone's heart can programs work. But yet public policy analysts discount this or ignore it as a factor in social revitalization.
Can I just say this, that we can talk about bringing money into the communities, we can talk about people being able to produce wealth, but in the final analysis, suppose I produce multi-millions of dollars and I'm not able to manage my own personal sexual behavior, end up with a disease and have to spend all of the money trying to stay alive. You gotta manage yourself first.
And that's something I would like to know what they're doing.
We have a number of programs that all come under 3 basic headings. human development, economic development, and physical development. One of our first programs was a program that brought fresh fruits and vegetables into the community for senior citizens, for this whole sense of physical well-being, where young people would go to the market and would buy the fresh fruits and vegetables and actually bring them into the community. A child development center that recognized the need and recognized the initiative of young single mothers to want to go back to school or want to go to work and have a safe place to leave their children, and regardless of how much money you have. And then finally, we had drug dealers all around the church, and so, you know, we want to call the police and that kind of thing, and I guess that my background and stuff just kind of says to me that more police don't necessarily mean less drug houses. And so how do we get rid of the crack house? You know, and I just told the community that I'm just not going to continue to lobby the police department to do this. I think that what we need to do is to take some of the resources that we have, buy the house, evict the drug dealer, and put good folks in the house that don't sell dope. And so, you know, by using what we had, using the resources that we had, encouraging small business development and saying to people that we understand what young people are saying about working at McDonald's. They don't have a problem with working at McDonald's, but suppose McDonald's closes. McDonald's only teach you how to flip a hamburger or how to push a button. They don't teach you, they don't give you the knowledge that you need to run that should they decide to leave. So business development in our community has to be about giving people knowledge to keep on running that business if you decide to leave. It has to be about not just giving them a paycheck, because they don't want jobs, a lot of these young folk. What they want is they want some ownership, they want some equity. They want to be able to benefit when they produce a bottom line. They want some of that bottom line. And those are basically some of the programs we do. We do a number of programs, but that's the basic philosophy.
Thank you. Are there other questions? Please come up to the microphone.
Down 37.5%.
Hello. You all just not in touch with what's going on. You are not in touch with 75% of the black people in this country don't know what you're talking about. They don't even understand the language that you're using. It's amazing. I sit here, I have half my students here, I'm involved with people in the community, and you don't even understand what's going on. You can't have a leadership council, Professor Walters, because you all don't know who you are leading. You don't know what the issues are. And if you don't get in contact with the people, Congressman Epstein and the rest of you, you're not going to be back. You're not knowing what's going on. This brother said it. Let them come speak for themselves. I think you'd be very, very
well, why don't you help us and tell us what you think the structures and strategies we should be as we go
that's
further.
Language that just does not even fit. First of all, black people need jobs. Secondly, they need empowerment. They need to know that what they feel and what they think count, and the people who are representing them know that. And they don't know that. Empowerment. You have it here, but I don't think you know what it means. You absolutely don't know what it means.